Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us for CBN News today. I'm George Thomas. The stage is set for the biggest foreign policy vote in Congress since the Iraq War. White House officials met with lawmakers Sunday to discuss the possibility of U.S. military action in Syria. And President Obama is holding a special briefing with lawmakers today. But many say the president has a hard sell. Charlene Israel has more.
President Obama's weekend announcement surprised many political observers. The decision marked a stark turnabout for the White House, which had appeared on the verge of ordering a U.S. missile strike against Syria.
While I believe I have the authority to carry out this military action without specific congressional authorization, I know that the country will be stronger if we take this course, and our actions will be even more effective.
Secretary of State John Kerry defended the president's decision to unleash U.S. firepower, citing new evidence against the Assad regime.
From first responders in East Damascus, we have signatures of sarin in their hair and blood samples. We cannot allow Assad to be able to gas people with impunity.
Lawmakers are being briefed by the White House today, but convincing a war-weary Congress and the American public will be difficult.
In my mind, it's far from settled. It's not something that should be undertaken lightly. Certainly the mood at the district that I represent is do not do this, and I honestly didn't hear anything that told me I ought to have a different position.
People want to know that there's not going to be a military engagement, entanglement like in Iraq and like if in Afghanistan. We've got a very skeptical public.
But the president seems determined, saying doing nothing is not acceptable.
What message will we send if a dictator can gas hundreds of children to death in plain sight and pay no price?
Congress will vote on the issue when it returns on September 9th. Meanwhile, critics argue the president's decision is really about the 2014 congressional election and trying to make House Republicans look bad if they vote against the strike. Charlene Israel, CBN News.
Meanwhile, Syrian Christians face an uncertain future. Many have backed the Assad regime, fearing they will be severely persecuted if Islamists take over. Senator Rand Paul made that point on NBC's Meet the Press this weekend. He said, quote, "I see Assad, who has protected Christians for a number of decades, and then I see the Islamic rebels on the other side who have been attacking Christians." The Kentucky Republican says if Islamic rebels overthrow the government, quote, "we'll have another Islamic state where Christians are persecuted." Christians make up about 7% of Syria's population. A new report says the National Security Agency spied on the presidents of Brazil and Mexico. The journalist who broke the NSA domestic spying story has told a Brazilian news program that emails from both leaders were being intercepted. He based his report on information from NSA leaker Edward Snowden. Documents from June 2012 show Mexican President Enrique Peña Nieto's emails were being read before he was elected. As for Brazil's leader, the document does not include specific intercepted messages, but it is clear her communications were intercepted. The world's largest social networking site says governments around the world are demanding the personal information of its users. Facebook released data showing government agents in 74 countries demanded information on about 38,000 Facebook users during the first part of this year. Half of those orders were from authorities in the United States. In the past, Facebook and other technology companies have been criticized for helping the NSA secretly collect data on customers. But federal law gives government the right to demand data without specific warrants. Doctors in Iowa can no longer use video conferencing for distributing abortion-inducing pills.
He will push a remote control button, and then a drawer will pop open where the girl is, and the girl will be instructed to take out 2 bottles of pills.
The Iowa Medical Board has vetoed to end the system Planned Parenthood started back in 2008. The board says this is not to restrict abortion access, but provide women with a high standard of care. Starting in November, doctors must be present to distribute the pills. German authorities have taken 4 homeschool children away from their parents. The Homeschool League Defense Association reports a team of 20 social workers, police officers, and special agents stormed the family's residence in Darmstadt, Germany. The HSLDA is calling it a brutal and vicious act. They were taken away because the family homeschooled their children, defying Germany's ban on home education. Officials told the parents they would not be seeing their children anytime soon. CBN Superbook will soon be on television screens in the world's largest Muslim country. Some Indonesian school kids recently received a preview of the Emmy-nominated series. Lucille Talusan brings their reaction.
Hoping to generate interest in the animated series, the CBN Superbook team are touring several schools in Indonesia. Its host, Mehdi, shares with the Indonesian kids some values they can learn from the Bible stories, gives away souvenirs, and treats them to a sneak peek of this extraordinary kids program.
Superbook!
CBN Indonesia director Mark McClendon says the Superbook broadcast will be historic.
Never before in the history of missions in Indonesia has there been an opportunity like this, where you can present Christ, and you can present Christ in context of the entire Bible, the whole mission of the heart of God.
Tigris, Efrat.
Superbook has been translated into Bahasa, the Indonesian language.
And if I can say, I think that some of the episodes in the Indonesian language, Superbook in the Indonesian language, sounds even better than Superbook in the English language. I mean, it's so cool. And Gizmo lights up in the Indonesian language, and kids just go wild.
It premieres September 14th on MNC TV, Indonesia's third largest network. MNC runs 80% of the country's top children's programs.
It's going to be amazing to see a whole generation of Indonesians, not just Christian Indonesians. You're talking about children across this nation from all religions being able to hear the gospel.
This is the first time that Superbook is being promoted in the schools here in Indonesia. And what's interesting is the very enthusiastic response of the children here. And among the students are Muslims listening and given the opportunity to learn about God's word in animation.
The Muslim parents say they like their children to learn the values they see in Christian children. They allow their children to study Christian religion because they believe it is just like any other subject.
I believe Superbook will be a door for us to spread the gospel among the children here. Later, perhaps it will grow and then they can believe Jesus.
Kami tidak takut padamu.
Kenapa harus takut?
The students gave their full attention as they watched the first Superbook episode. Not only were they delighted with the state-of-the-art animation, but they were also moved by the story.
I pray that I will not fight anymore with my brother, and I will stop speaking bad words.
I'm excited because I know that kids everywhere are going to be singing Jesus kau mati di salib. They're going to be singing the salvation poem. They're going to, because Superbook is a seed.
Yesus kau mati di salib, bangkit selamatkan dunia.
Seeds planted in the hearts of children, one day reaping a bountiful harvest in Indonesia. Lucille Talusan, CBN News, Jakarta.
Coming up, your work matters to God. Why you can find meaning at your job, no matter what you do.
Today we're on a field trip to discover what inflation is doing to our paper money. In this hand is a $20 bill, and in this hand is a $20 US gold coin. They used to have the same buying power, but how much can they buy today? In this first basket is what my $20 bill buys: milk, bread, peanut butter, and jelly. And here's what one $20 gold coin will buy: 6 baskets full, worth nearly $2,000, almost 100 times more food, simply by owning gold dollars instead of paper dollars. History shows that the gold coins have been the best way to beat the rising cost of living. so class. The moral is that unless you want to live on peanut butter and jelly sandwiches in the future, you should turn some paper dollars into gold coins now. How and why is explained in a new book, The Great Debasement. Call the number below for a totally free copy. And that's the simple truth.
Help! If an emergency happened right now, you can have help at the push of a button with Medical Alert.
Remember when I took that fall, Mary?
Oh, yes, that was terrible.
Yes, it was.
Help!
And I thought, what if you hadn't been there? I ordered my Medical Alert the next day.
I can't describe how safe I feel now with my Medical Alert. You didn't know I was wearing it, did you?
Medical Alert is easy to install, waterproof, and covers you inside your home and out.
It helps me feel safe from fires, break-ins.
And of course, a Medical Alert. And if you don't have a home phone, don't worry. They have that covered.
There's always help at the push of a button. Don't wait till you need it.
Get Medical Alert for less than $1 a day. There are no long-term contracts. Order now and get your second button free. Call for your free brochure.
For your free Medical Alert system with second button free, call 800-575-8507.
Hello? Is this thing on? Hey, kids, do you love games? And do you love discovering things? Well, do ya?
Then you're gonna love this. It's the new free Superbook Kids Bible app. You can play games, watch videos, find answers to your questions, and a whole lot more. The new Superbook Kids Bible app. Free downloads available on iTunes now.
Today is Labor Day, a time when many people get to take a break from the daily grind. Well, it's also a good time to reflect on why our work matters to God. One of the ideas that emerged from the Protestant Reformation was the sacredness of all professions, not just the ministry. In his final story for CBN News, my colleague Lee Webb introduces us to a man who lives that very idea with great passion.
Lord, prepare me.
You're about to meet one of the most important people here at CBN. Not just for what he does, but for how he does it.
Tried and true. It's work, but I'm worshiping. When I'm in that restroom, I'm finding myself in the Lord. I'm entering into the presence of God while I'm in the restroom working, sir.
Stephen Pierce sees his work as much more than the tasks he's assigned to perform.
If you get trapped up in the work part of it, then you'll lost the whole meaning while you're here. I don't look at it as just as work. I look at it as a calling. I'm here ministering, cleaning, worshiping, and ministering while I do what I do. God bless you, Sister Lori. How you doing?
He's just such a great example of how you can work and honor God and glorify God every moment of the day, regardless of what you do.
And that, according to R.C. Sproul Jr., is our calling as Christians.
Our tendency in the evangelical church is to separate our spiritual life from our ordinary life. If we can have the perspective that we're working for the kingdom and we're working for Jesus, and that our work is a sacrifice to him, we end up richly rewarded.
Come on, soldier. Love you, man. Love you, man.
He really is a breath of fresh air. I mean, not only is he a gentleman and a man of excellence in everything that he does day in and day out, but you know, at the end of the day, he does this unto the Lord.
Praise God.
The Apostle Paul wrote about that very principle in his letter to the Colossians. He wrote, "Whatever you do, do it heartily, as to the Lord and not to men." That resonates with you, doesn't it?
Absolutely. If I'd done everything for myself, Lee, I would probably be a multimillionaire by now. But what I do is not for me. It's never for me. It's never about me. It's all about God, man. It has always been about God in my life. So when I work, I am truly working unto the Lord, sir.
Stephen has it right, according to author and pastor Tim Keller. He's written about connecting your work to God's work in his book, Every Good Endeavor.
All work is rearranging the raw material of God's creation for the purpose of human flourishing. In the process, you make money, and sometimes you even get self-esteem. But if money and self-esteem is the main reason you work, the work will be boring and very often it won't add to other people's lives.
Stefan definitely does that. He encourages everyone.
Hey, soldier, let me let you through here, man.
When people walk by,
Yes,
sometimes you'll call them brother or sister,
Yes.
but you call people soldier a lot too. What's behind that?
Because that's who we are. We're soldiers of the Lord. He's called us to stand on the front line and proclaim the gospel. All right, man, we got to stay on the battlefield, Doc.
He's like a soldier in the army of God, always armed and ready to give hope and encouragement. And that's what I love about the guy. And I don't think he has a bad day. In fact, I don't think he knows what a bad day is.
Is there any time that you've had a bad day?
Listen, Lee, I made up in my mind you'll never see that. No one will ever see that of me. You will not see me looking downcast, frustrated, confused. You won't see that in me. God's called me to a ministry of encouragement. How can I encourage you if I'm all down and all broken and all torn up inside? Right. What type of light will I be to you? Bless you, my sister. How are you?
The hierarchy here on earth is vastly different from the hierarchy the way it's going to be in heaven. And a lot of times I look at him and think, I bet I'm going to be working for him one of these days in heaven.
Hallelujah, Jesus.
Lee Webb, CBN News.
God, in the name of God.
Great story. Well, up next, it's not your typical summer camp. This one covers 6 adventures in 6 countries on 3 continents, and it lasts 12 months. We'll take you to Camp Kivo when we return.
Attention sleep apnea patients. Are you tired of the expense and hassle of getting your CPAP and BiPAP supplies? Are you fed up with dealing with ill-fitting, leaking, or worn-out masks and straps? Are you worried about the effects that unsanitary tubes, cushions, and filters have on your health? If you said yes to any of these questions, Allied Medical Supply Network has the solution to your problems. You could qualify to have your supplies regularly delivered right to your door at little or no cost to you. That's right, no more inconvenience, no worn-out masks and straps, no more unsanitary equipment, just restful sleep. Call Allied Medical Supply Network today to determine if you may qualify to receive your fresh, brand-name supplies at little or no cost. Don't delay. Call us now to see if you are eligible to save money on regular delivery of your CPAP and BiPAP supplies. Call 1-800-815-9947. That's 1-800-815-9947. Or go to cpapsupplyhelpline.com.
Announcing an important breakthrough in healthcare that can benefit everyone. If you or anyone you love needs affordable health insurance, regardless of a pre-existing medical condition, call Quick Insurance 123 today and get the immediate relief you deserve. Quick Insurance 123 was created to provide affordable health insurance to all uninsured Americans, with or without pre-existing conditions. This is not a discount card. This is a real insurance program that lets you choose from many affordable health plans, with access to doctors, hospitals, emergency services, and more. So call the number on your screen now and get the health coverage you need just for calling. As a special bonus, we'll send you a free prescription savings card that could save you up to 85% on your prescriptions. That's right, you could save up to 85% on your prescriptions just for calling. Call Quick Insurance 123 to find out how you can get affordable health insurance and receive your free prescription savings card just for calling. Don't wait. Getting a free quote is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Call today.
Well, many high school graduates are starting their first year of college in a few weeks, but a growing number of others are, well, they're doing something different. They're taking a year off. It's called a gap year, and some of America's top universities are supporting it.
When all of a sudden,
this is the story of 3 19-year-olds
these afflictions eclipsed by glory,
who decided to live for almost a year outside their comfort zones. Lainey Douglas is from Amarillo, Texas.
God totally broke down every part of me, every inch of me.
Dear Jesus, I just thank you so much for this day. Thank you so much for the way that you've provided for us throughout this trip, God.
Kristen Hendricks is from Norman, Oklahoma.
I have grown up in a Christian home and in a Christian school to where that's all I've been surrounded with, so I wasn't able to ever truly make my faith my own.
And Kara Crenshaw is from Jackson, Tennessee.
After high school, I was just kind of like
tired of being in a classroom. You know, you're in a classroom for 13 years and then you're expected to go to college right after that. And I wanted to get out and see the world.
There's a mountain we are climbing. The teenagers signed up with Camp Kivu, a Colorado-based Christian organization that encourages students to take a year off of school in between high school and college. This gap year trend is growing in America. In fact, Harvard, Yale, and Princeton are among the champions of these experiences. Luke Parrott directs Camp Kivu's program.
We tell students you're making an investment for a year that's going to last a lifetime in reward.
6 adventures, 6 countries, 3 continents. And it all starts with Orientation Week.
Sitting in this little valley in between 2 mountains with a river running through it. They're taken to all different corners of southwest Colorado and the beautiful San Juan Mountains just to backpack, to rock climb, to mountain bike. But in the mornings, we take them through a worldview curriculum.
More than 10,000 young people have enrolled in Camp Kivu since 1996.
We're trying to change an entire youth culture by offering them a chance to see the world in a different way, and really by teaching them how to follow Jesus and how to do that by loving God and loving others.
The gap year began for the girls on the streets of Denver. For nearly 3 months, they partnered with the Christian ministry, teaching at-risk students and reaching those on the margins of society. All 3 faced resistance at home about taking the year off.
I was rolling through the motions of life, like there was nothing going on, and I wanted out of that. I wanted to be challenged.
That challenge came next in Haiti, where they worked with an organization feeding more than 8,000 school children each day. And in between visits to orphanages, food distribution, and medical outreaches, the 3 had plenty of other projects that kept them busy.
I think living in America, we live in a bubble, and so it's so hard to see what the real world is even like. But coming and discovering the world for myself has just shown me how big this world is and how big of a God we serve.
For the next few months, they traveled thousands of miles, stopping in the African countries of Rwanda and Tanzania, serving with local Christian partners all along the way.
We believe that when you take students to the margins of the world, you'll see God present the most. Our students are learners.
What does the proper adjective mean?
The classroom is the culture and the marginalized communities. Their professors are actually these people that they've come to serve.
They also had the chance to climb Kilimanjaro, Africa's highest mountain.
This is the night that we summit. How's everybody feeling? Slightly terrified, actually. Freaking out! Freaking out, man. I'm freaking out.
Reaching the 19,340-foot summit proved to be a spiritual experience for Kara.
While you're climbing it, you realize how small you are, and then you think about the God who created that mountain and how much bigger he is than that mountain, and how amazing it is that we get to serve a God that is limitless.
Their next destination, India, a bustling country with over 1 billion people and with extreme levels of poverty. All 3 said India was the hardest as they ministered among the poor. Lainey was especially moved by the perseverance of Indian Christians who routinely face persecution because of their faith.
I've always been in a shelter in America where freedom of religion just exists, and God took me in that moment. He grasped me and he humbled me and showed me that I should never take freedom of religion for granted again.
One way to help that is...
And their final destination took them to remote Philippine villages where the girls taught on health and wellness programs.
It began almost 8 months ago on the streets of Denver, Colorado. From there, the girls went to Haiti, Rwanda, Tanzania, India, and finally here to the villages of Philippines, where folks use a half basketball to fetch water in a well. For the girls, it's been a life-changing experience, an opportunity to understand the depth of God's love for them, but also for the people who have never heard the name of Jesus Christ.
The last 8 months on Gap Year has brought me closer to God because I've seen him work in my life and work in others' lives so clearly.
Never once in the Bible does it talk about an ordinary life. being a living sacrifice is messy, it's hard, it's dirty.
I want people to experience the same joy and the same compassion that I've learned throughout this gap year. I want them to experience the same thing.
Their gap year ended recently with a graduation ceremony back in Colorado. All three start college in a few weeks.
And having seen these girls firsthand in the Philippines, it truly was a life-changing experience. If you'd like to learn more about Camp Kivu or other gap year programs, go to our website, cbnnews.com. Folks, we'll be back right after this.
When you're driving along and your cell phone rings, do your eyes instantly go off the road? Then you need to get a grip. Hi, David Jones here with the new GripGo, the most versatile hands-free mount that will instantly grip any phone for safe driving. Just attach the suction cup to your windshield or dash, and GripGo grabs your phone ultra fast. Then it peels right off. And don't worry, there's no sticky residue left behind. The 360-degree pivoting mount allows you to always get the perfect viewing angle. It's even strong enough to grab and hold this expensive smartphone out the window. Yet it comes right off with ease. That's the advantage of GripGo. You can get the amazing GripGo with dashboard mount for only $14.95. We'll send you a second kit free. Just pay separate processing and handling. Get 2 complete GripGo systems for just $14.95.
To order GripGo for $14.95 plus processing and handling, call 1-800-709-5259 or order online at getgripgo.com.
Jim is 38, mortgage, married, 3 great kids. He wants to protect his family with a $500,000 term life insurance policy. What do you think it'll cost him? $100 a month? 60? 40? Actually, none of the above. Jim can get a $500,000 policy from a highly rated insurer for under $19 a month. His secret? SelectQuote. SelectQuote is impartial. They'll comparison shop the pick of insurance companies like these to give you a choice of your best prices. SelectQuote has great savings on term life for women, too. Jim's wife, Deidre, can get a $500,000 policy for under $16 a month. SelectQuote has helped make term life insurance affordable for hundreds of thousands of people since 1985. How about you? Just call this number or go to SelectQuote.com. SelectQuote. We shop, you save.
And finally, today, Operation Blessing is preparing to open a fish processing facility in Haiti. It's on the grounds of the Zanmi Beni Children's Home and will complement Obi's fish farm and hatchery. Last year alone, the hatchery harvested 50,000 pounds of tilapia. The fish processing facility is equipped with AC, an ice machine, and a grinder that will shred the fish into a digester that turns it into a high-powered, no-smell liquid fertilizer. Employers will break down the fish into sushi-grade, made-in-Haiti fresh tilapia. Well, folks, that's it for now on this edition of CBN News Today. You can find more of our exclusive coverage of the issues you care most about at cbnnews.com. And by the way, tell us what you think about the stories you've seen today. You can do that on Facebook or at CBN News on Twitter. On behalf of everyone here in the studio, our director, Drew Newman, and our producer, Ben Gill, thank you so much for joining us. I hope you'll join us again next time. In the meantime, have a great day and God bless.
If you had a choice between going bald and a full head of hair, which would you choose? Advances in medical science have resulted in the world's first and only permanent solution to hair loss.
Yes!
You wash it, you cut it. It's your own real, naturally growing hair. When it comes to hair restoration, no one in the world has more experience than Bosley. The results look completely natural and are affordable on nearly any budget. But the entire process can't be explained in 60 brief seconds. So to find out more about this clinically proven and permanent solution to hair loss, call now to receive your free no-obligation information kit. It'll answer all of your questions about hair loss and hair restoration. Plus, we'll also send you this $250 gift certificate just for calling. Every day you wait, you're losing more hair. So don't put it off any longer. You owe it to yourself to find out the facts. Choose hair. Choose Bosley.
Call 800-868-9957. That's 800-868-9957. Introducing the CBN Bible from CBN.com. Now, an easier way to study the Bible and grow in your faith. Highlight your favorite verse. read separate versions at a glance, click and read a commentary, or cross-reference your favorite verse using the Strong's Concordance. All the right tools to study the Bible, all in one place. The CBN Bible, available at cbn.com/Bible or the iTunes App Store.